energy nobody can match to help her organize all this and keep giving us good ideas to how to go about this. Then we have Indu, who is my nurse practitioner with me in Max Vaishali, and Harpreet, who works as a palliative care nurse specialist with Dr. Gaurav. And so today's session is about lymphedema care. And over to Dr. Shubham for this. Please introduce our panelists. He will be moderating this entire session. And Dr. Shubham, please introduce yourself and all the other panelists. Let's go.
Hi, Megha. Good evening. Happy Lodi to everybody. Thanks for inviting me to this caregiver hour to discuss this important and yet often ignored topic that we come across, that is lymphedema. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So we'll start off with the talk soon. We have a panel discussion for lymphedema. On panel, we have Dr. Vaishali Zamre. She's a senior surgical oncologist at Max Vaishali. Dr. Rashi Agarwal, who's a senior radiation oncologist at Max Vaishali. Dr. Seema Goyal, who's a patient advocate. Dr. Smriti Neha, she is the onco rehabilitation expert at Pan Max. And Dr. Sandeep Bapar, he's a physiotherapist at IRCH Institute, AIMS. And welcome all. And the first question basically is what I ask myself of why are we actually talking about it? And it actually is that we fear things in proportion to our ignorance of them. So awareness and knowledge is the key that actually helps us combat or fight anything that we come across. And that is why it is so important to know about what lymphedema is. So my first question to Dr. Seema, ma'am, what is the first instance that you came across the term lymphedema, and how does it go across for a patient who's having this journey through the treatment of breast cancer? Can you shed some light on that?
So what happens is that I, being a dental surgeon myself, I was a little aware before my treatment itself that lymphedema can be an issue in my case. And how big a issue it will be is when I got to know about it was when I went for one of these caregivers workshop at Vaishali Max, which was held by Dr. Geeta was handling it. And this was pre my surgery. And there, when I saw so many women with huge lymphedema problem, I realized ki it's not just in books, and I have to be really aggressive about dealing with it. And regarding the patients, because it is not always the swelling associated initially is not always with very acute pain and things there. So in general, with my experience of 4.5 years of a caregiver's journey, of a journey as a patient advocate, I have seen that patients tend to take it too lightly. There is stage 1 or stage 2 lymphedema, and they take it casually and accept it as part of the cancer treatment.
Very rightly put, ma'am. So it is a realistic threat affecting anybody who's going through this journey. And the best way forward is to know about it and to avoid it as much as possible. Dr. Vaishali, could you please elaborate more medically on it, of what exactly lymphedema is and how does it affect us?
Yeah, so as a breast cancer surgeon, I often see lymphedema affecting the arm on the side of the surgery. So it is usually the surgical lymphedema, which is seen in breast cancer patients, is because of the lymph node dissection that is a part of breast cancer surgery. So for the people who are gathered here, we have lymph node dissection is a part of breast cancer treatment, the surgical part of breast cancer treatment, and especially those patients who have clinically palpable lymph nodes or the nodes which are affected by cancer, they have to undergo lymph node dissection. And as a result, the lymphatic drainage of that affected arm is disturbed. So what happens is that these lymphatics are these tiny pipe-like structures which carry the lymph from the arm on the side of the surgery towards the heart. And once these lymph nodes are removed, these lymphatics are disrupted. And as a result, there is a subtle gradual accumulation of fluid in under the skin and the subcutaneous tissue of that affected arm. And that results, and if it is managed properly or due precautions are not taken, then probably the accumulation of lymph node progresses and the patient can progress from stage 0 to stage 1 to stage 3 lymphedema. So that is how it is.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Rashi, how do you define it medically for the patients, or any patient coming with a swelling post treatment on the same side? Would that be called lymphedema, or how does it get classified?
Yeah, Dr. Shubham. Actually, as you mentioned in your slide also, if there is any limb swelling and that is more than 3 months of duration, and the swelling that is not subsiding when we are elevating the affected limb, so that we called as lymphedema, for which we should actually bother. So there are so many 4 grades of lymphedema. So I think that you will further discuss. So in grade 0, the edema, which is not subside, which is actually not visible. You cannot see, yes, there is lymphedema. In grade 1, when we elevate our limb against gravity, then it subsides. And in grade 2, it is the pitting type. It is non-pitting type. It is doesn't subside. And in grade 3, the changes that becomes skin becomes hard, and folds are there. So it is a non-pitting type of edema.
Okay. Okay. So as Dr. Vaishali was explaining, with the help of this diagram, if I can explain, so the lymphatic capillaries, they tend to take the fluid that's accumulating in the tissues. The arteries are bringing in blood to the tissues, and the venules or veins are taking out the blood or tissue fluid. And these lymphatics are channels for these for this fluid, which is collected in the capillary bed. Now, once the lymphatic capillaries get destroyed, there is no way to take out this fluid, which gradually builds up over time and causes the swelling. So that is what Dr. Vaishali was trying to explain. So Dr. Vaishali, how would it cause discomfort, or how would it affect the patient? If you could elaborate the symptoms that the patient may have.
Yeah. So to begin with, when the lymphedema starts building up, usually the patients experience heaviness or discomfort in the arm. And gradually, once the lymphedema progresses, then it can lead to obviously visible swelling, and the movement of that extremity actually get disturbed or impaired. And as the lymphedema is allowed to progress beyond a certain grade or stage of the the process, then obviously the movements are definitely restricted. The patients are not able to carry out their day-to-day activities. Then the lymph fluid is very rich in such nutrients which attract repeated bacterial infections. Then the patients are likely to suffer from repeated skin and subcutaneous infections. And because the limb is not mobile, then again the what do you say, the movements are so restricted that the patients are unable to carry out their day-to-day activities if it is allowed to progress beyond a certain stage. So that is how it affects. And because the arms are needed for all our day-to-day activities, it definitely affects the quality of life of a patient.
So another question that comes to my mind is it affecting only the upper limbs and is a follow-up of breast cancer therapy, or there could be lymphedema in other cases or sites as well? Dr. Vaishali, can you answer that for us?
So yeah, so it depends on the organ for which the patient has actually been operated upon or treated upon. So in case if the patient has undergone breast cancer surgery, then the affected arm, the side of the disease, the arm on the side of the disease is likely to have the swelling or lymphedema. For the patients who undergo abdominal surgery or pelvic surgeries, it is the genital area or lower limbs which are affected. For patients again who have to undergo surgery for melanoma, again a part of the body which is, say, for example, arm, if it has been operated upon, or the lower limb which has been operated upon. Then for penile cancers also, if the patient has undergone surgery, then the lower limbs are the areas which are likely to be affected by lymphedema.
So it is a fairly common problem and not just restricted to breast cancer, though breast cancer is the most common cancer that we see patients causing patients lymphedema. Dr. Rashi, what do you think can worsen the chances during the treatment of a patient developing lymphedema?
Yeah, actually, Dr. Ashli has already mentioned, if the patient has undergone a lymph node dissection, and that lymph node dissection is extensive, that happens sometime, that causes a lymphedema, and as the lymph node dissection increases, the chances of lymphedema also increases. And this is related to treatment. And once we do radiotherapy on that reason, that also increases worsen the lymph node chances. And if we talk about the patient's rated factors, so disease itself, it may cause lymphedema. If the disease is blocking, as in cases of breast, if the axillary lymph node burden is very heavy, so at that time the flow of lymph can be blocked by the disease itself, so that can cause lymphedema. And as well as if the patient's body structure, if the patient is having a high body mass index, so this is also associated with the worsening the chances of, the higher the body index, worsening the chances of having lymphedema.
Okay.
Dr.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Vaishali, can you briefly tell the audience of how we are cognizant of the fact that there is a risk of lymphedema, and what steps do we surgeons take while addressing the breast cancer treatment so as to reduce or minimize the risk of a patient developing lymphedema in the future?
Right. So to prevent this problem from occurring, in fact, we cannot altogether prevent this problem from occurring in a patient. But although as a surgeon, we can take definite measures to prevent that from occurring. That is, especially for those patients who do not have clinically palpable nodes, or those who do not have involvement of the lymph nodes before the surgery, then we can subject those patients to a procedure called as sentinel node biopsy, which the process picks up only those lymph nodes which are likely to be involved first by the disease. And if they are negative, then the remaining axillary lymph node dissection need not be done. So that prevents the removal of the complete axillary nodal basin, and especially those patients who do not need it. That is, those patients who are clinically node negative. And if there is low axillary burden, then we need not go as high as level 3 lymph nodes. So that these small, and then obviously during the surgery as well, avoidance of using diathermy very close to the axillary vein, and meticulous dissection in the region of axilla while dissecting the axillary lymph nodes. Then use of axillary reverse mapping, which actually helps us to locate those lymph nodes which drain the arm and not the breast. So these nodes can be identified and safeguarded by this procedure called as axillary reverse mapping. And that also helps in a long way to prevent lymphedema from developing. So all these surgical measures which are important in preventing the lymphedema from occurring are taken, and due consideration is given to the patient's future while the patient is being operated. But as it has been mentioned, if the patient has heavy axillary lymph node burden, and if the patient needs extensive lymphadenectomy, then these patients are likely or at high risk of developing lymphedema in future.
So basically, if I'm right to quote you, every surgeon would take an individual decision on a case-to-case basis, whether a patient is suitable for a sentinel lymph node biopsy or a patient would need an axillary lymph node dissection. Also, what you're saying is it is not a must that any patient who's undergoing axillary lymph node dissection will develop lymphedema, and
Yes.
vice versa. It is not a given that anybody who's undergone a sentinel lymph node biopsy will not develop lymphedema.
Correct. So the risk of having lymphedema with axillary lymph node dissection has been quoted to be as high as 25 to 30%. And obviously, sentinel node biopsy reduces the risk of developing lymphedema, but it is not altogether zero. So the literature has reported it to up to the tune of 7%, 7 to 8%, even after sentinel lymph node biopsy.
Okay. Okay.
So the technique of sentinel lymph node biopsy, the meticulous dissection is very, very important.
Okay. And Dr. Rashi, what are the radiation oncologists doing in order to minimize the risk of a patient developing lymphedema further?
Yes, Dr. Shubham. Actually, if I talk about at least 15 years back, at that time our guidelines were to treat axilla. But as we know, our surgical oncologists are so good. So now, if the surgical resection is very good, so we don't radiate the axilla. And as you have rightly mentioned in the figure, if you all can figure out, B means breast and A means axilla. When earlier we had 2D radiotherapy, so at that time it was very difficult for us to see where is axilla and where is breast. We actually cannot limit our dose to axilla. But with the help of CT scan planning, we can see, and we can avoid axilla if it is not required to treat. So because of this, because of a good surgery, and now we don't require radiotherapy, so unknowingly we will not treat axilla. Earlier, unknowingly we used to treat axilla because we were not having any CT scan or facility of machine with us to avoid this. But now we can avoid. So this also reduces the risk. And actually, a paper as I read recently, according to that paper also, if we treat axilla, after surgery we do radiation, then there are 37% of increases chances of lymphedema. But if we don't radiate axilla level 1 and level 2 by radiation, then it reduces to 7%. So that
Okay.
is good chance. Yeah.
So basically what, like Dr. Vaishali, even you are saying that the radiation oncologists also are very well cognizant of this complication, and we are trying our best to minimize it as much for the patient as is possible. Obviously, we take a decision on a case-to-case basis. When it is feasible, we do it for the patient.
Correct. Correct. That's right.
Okay, so next, so this is a diagram which is showing that we can actually predict which patient will develop lymphedema. These are the stages that Dr. Vaishali and Dr. Rashi were talking about, wherein the stage 0, the swelling is not evident. A stage 1 is when the swelling reduces with limb elevation. Stage 2 is when it does not reduce on elevation. And stage 3 is when the skin changes start developing. So these are a few pictures that I've taken from the net, showing the various stages of lymphedema and how it progresses both in the upper limb as well as it may progress in the lower limb. So coming to Dr. Smriti and Dr. Sandeep now, how do you treat these patients who have developed lymphedema or are prone to develop lymphedema? Dr. Smriti, if I can start with you. So can you please?
Yes, sir. So,
yeah.
Yes, sir. So we start generally day after surgery, when surgery happens, then we start the session from the next day. So first we all explain them all the precautions. What are the factors which can impose lymphedema, which can cause lymphedema. So first we always tell them all the precautions, and then we start with the exercises, which because our lymphatics works on our skeletal muscle movements. So we start with the muscle movement exercises that will help to reduce the risk of lymphedema. That will help in reduce the risk of lymphedema. So we start from the day after surgery. We always tell the patient you should always, if any symptoms like any cause of any kind of pain, swelling, heaviness, tingling, any kind of this kind of symptoms, if you are seeing, then you need to seek your oncophysiotherapist or your surgeon. And sometimes we also see in post MRM or in BCS, there can cause breast edema also, and in MRM we see chest edema. So by doing manual lymphatic drainage, we can minimize the risk of lymphedema. of lymphedema. Tell us 0 stage when patient usually tell us he have feeling pain and numbness in that area. In fact, after 4 weeks or so, then we start manual lymphatic drainage after 5 or 6 days of a surgery that helps to train our lymphatics to drain in our healthy sites and to reabsorb the lymphatic fluids. So by doing these maneuvers, we are reducing the risk of lymphedema. And skin care is also very important in this. We always tell patients ki do always moisturize your skin, so that if skin is dry and chappy, then there can be a growth of bacteria and that can cause infection in her arm. So we follow all these procedure, exercises as well as manual drainage, skin care. By telling all these things, we are trying to reduce the risk of lymphedema.
So, as you were talking about exercise, are there any particular regimens like walking or swimming that you actually encourage patients to do?
Yes, sir. In future, if treatment has been completed, like radiation, chemo, surgery, if everything has been completed, then patient can go for swimming. Also, as well as we always encourage patient ki their body. Already, Dr. Rashi ma'am explained ki if BMI is high, then there is a risk of increasing lymphedema. So we always tell patient to control your weight, and next thing, we always encourage patients some common exercises which they have to do at least twice or thrice a day lifelong for 5 to 10 minutes.
And are there any exercises that they should avoid?
Yes, they have to avoid such strenuous exercises, always strenuous exercises and overexerting exercises and heavy weightlifting exercises. They have to avoid. But in some cases, if earlier patient was a weightlifter, weight trainer, then in that cases, their muscles has been developed like that. So after the completion of the treatment, we start training of their arm from half kg, and then we gradually, then slowly will increase with weight, and we can train their muscles to function like that.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Sandeep, can you please elaborate on the role of external compression in managing lymphedema?
See, the main gold standard treatment for lymphedema is complete decongestion therapy. As you have explained in one of the slides, it involves 2 phases. One is the intensive phase, and second is the follow-up phase, which the patient has to do at home. So in the intensive phase, which involves about 2 to 4 weeks of direct contact sessions with the therapist, it basically involves manual lymphatic drainage, multi-layer lymphedema bandaging, skin and nail care, and the exercises. As Smriti ma'am has already explained regarding the manual lymphatic drainage, apart from that, there are certain maneuvers in which we can drain the lymph. And apart from that, there are certain bandaging techniques which are applied over the part which has lymphedema, so that during the exercise, it will further stimulate the movement of the lymph nodes, movement of the lymphatics. And once that initial intensive phase is over, then we teach the patient to do all these manual lymphatic drainage technique by herself, and then we can transfer the patient from the intensive phase to the self-care phase once the lymphatic readings have achieved a plateau.
So what are the components of this multi-layer lymphedema bandage, and can the patient do this at home by themselves, or do they need to come to the hospital or a clinic for somebody to assist them?
It's a tedious process. It has various different kind of short stretch bandaging. Initially, the emulsion is applied, then there is a stockinette which is given to the patient to wear, and then on that the bandaging are applied. So these are basically short stretch bandaging. And when the patient is doing exercise, because these are short stretch bandages, they have low resting pressure, and when the person is doing some activity, that is during the work, it has a high working pressure. So the pressure is increased when the person is doing certain activity like flexing the fingers, or doing a wrist pump or things like that. Then at that position, it will further stimulate the movement of the lymph nodes. Because it is a tedious process. Initially in the intensive phase, the therapist is helping with the multi-layer bandaging. Once the patient reaches to the self-care program, then we transfer the patient from multi-layer bandaging to the graduated elastic stockings.
So how frequently do you recommend a patient getting this multi-layer lymphedema bandage being reapplied for it to be effective?
In the initial phase, as I'm talking about the initial intensive phase, the multi-layer bandaging has to be applied regularly during the intensive initial phase.
Okay.
And then once the patient is once the reading of the arm has reached a certain plateau, then the patient can shift from multi-layer bandaging to the elastic stockings.
Okay. So speaking of elastic stockings, could you please elaborate on the compression garments as well?
The elastic stockings, first of all, it has to be custom made. There are different kind of elastic stockings which are available in India, one with the seam, one without the seam, and depending upon the lymphedema, depending upon the level of lymphedema, whether it is 2, 3, we'll give according to that the pressure is there. And the most important thing of the elastic stocking is that the distal pressure is more in comparison to the proximal pressure, so that it enhances the flow of the lymphatics.
Okay. So are there any patients that you would not recommend compression garments for?
Yeah, if there is some other pathology, if there are certain other issues, if the patient is having some skin infection, cellulitis, or if there is any vascular condition in which the patient is not able to use these elastic stockings, so in such conditions, we don't prescribe elastic stockings.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Smriti, could you please elaborate on what exactly a LymphaPress is and how do patients benefit from it?
Sir, this is a intermittent pneumatic compression therapy. It involves some chambers like 12 chamber or 6 chamber pneumatic compression, which is inflate and deflate. It is a sequential therapy. So we give this LymphaPress therapy in the stage 2 or in stage 3 condition only. So that will help to enhance our lymphatic fluids to rerouting in the opposite or healthy areas. This helps to enhance the lymphatic drainage, to help the lymph drainage towards the healthy areas, sir.
Okay. And what exactly is instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization? It's a new term that I have come across recently. Kinesio instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization. If you could elaborate on that.
That has come. That is the same process what we are doing manual lymphatic drainage by hand. But that is a triangle instrument which helps to mobilize the lymphatic fluids in the healthier eye. Principle is same as what we are doing manually by hand. That is doing by the device.
Okay. And could you also please elaborate on the skincare measures that the patients should take in slightly more advanced stages of lymphedema?
Yes, sir. In skincare, what we have to do, we always have to use the moisturizer or oil to keep the skin moisturized. First thing. Second thing, always if they have to apply, they are applying the bandage, then they have to apply the antibacterial powder like Absorb powder to avoid any kind of sweating and to avoid any kind of growth of infection. And if infection is there, then they should apply the sumac dressing. So that sumac dressing and course of antibiotic with the help of doctor if there is infection is there. And one more thing, if patient is applying bandaging or compression garment, then when they will remove that bandage or compression garment, then they have to wash their arm nicely, keep them dry, and then again they have to apply the bandage.
Okay. Okay. Could you also elaborate on the massage techniques and the massage therapy that is advised for the patients with lymphedema?
Yes, sir. Actually, that is simple. In simple term, we are telling massage therapy, but basically that is known as manual lymphatic drainage. What we have to do, we have to stimulate our healthy nodes, where all our healthy nodes has been present, like behind the ear, supraclavicular nodes, like axillary node, between the both breast, abdominal node, and inguinal nodes. What we have to do, we have to do mild stretching pressure, and then I'm just teaching the simple way how patient can do. So they can first, the principle of manual lymphatic drainage is कि patient should remove all their clothes. Whatever she wears, she has to remove the clothes, and then only she has to start doing the manual lymphatic drainage. They have to start the mild tissue movements by doing their fingertips like that. They have to do like that by simple pressure by every areas. After doing this lymph node activation, then they have to start the manual lymphatic drainage. First, they have to start from the healthier side. Like if I am having left side lymphedema, then patient should start lymphatic drainage from the right side. So that when we create the space in the right side and when we'll do drainage in the left side, then that will help to reabsorb the lymphatic fluids. We are creating the space in the good side, so that will help to reabsorb the lymphatic fluids towards the good side, and this will help to drain properly.
Okay. So as you said, the manual lymphatic drainage is there, and there is something which is also called a simple lymph drainage.
Yes, this is the only simple lymph drainage that is done by the patient his or herself.
Dr.
And deep.
एक
Yes.
सेकंड, हम थोड़ा आई थिंक पेशेंट्स ना कई बार बोलते हैं कि थोड़ा हिंदी में भी बताओ तो सब लोगों के लिए आई थिंक हम
अच्छा।
ये पेशेंट्स के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है ना, तो हम
Sure,
थोड़ा
sure.
हिंदी में बताएंगे ना.
So, okay, I'm just towards the end only. Do you want us to repeat the massage techniques in if Dr. Smriti can elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. I can repeat. And
Please
one
do
more
that.
thing, sir, I want to add in the bandaging technique. Ki bandaging, if patient is having grade 2 or grade 3 lymphedema, then at least patient should wear bandaging 23 to 4 hours in a day. That is
Okay.
more important. And because generally patient don't, they tell ki no, we are fed up with this clumsy sum, but after teaching them, they can hear to they are able to tie their bandaging his or herself very nicely in 5 to 10 minutes only. So I always tell patient ki keep bandaging 23 to 4 hours in a day minimum, and when lymphedema subsides, then they can go with the compression garment. So I'm elaborating a simple massage technique. What we have to do, we have to start from behind. कान के पीछे से हम लोग start करेंगे like this, moving this 20 times behind the ear. This is simple lymphatic drainage. Then at the supraclavicular area, we have to cross hand करेंगे, and then stretch and then release. Stretch and then release towards the chest wall, and then axilla. Healthier side 20 times, and then surgical side 20 times, and then at the diaphragmatic areas we have to tell to deep breathe.
Somebody is saying हिंदी में हाँ, Mr. Prakash वाले से.
हाँ, वो हम लोग उसको डीप ब्रीदिंग करेंगे, नाक से गहरे सांस भरेंगे, एंड देन मुंह से छोड़ते हुए हाथ से हल्का सा प्रेशर देंगे, एंड देन इंग्वाइनल एरिया में नीचे जो हमारा होता है वी शेप का 20 टाइम्स ऊपर, 20 टाइम्स बीच में, एंड देन 20 टाइम्स नीचे. उसके बाद इफ हमारी अगर सर्जरी बाएं साइड हुई है तो हम लोग दाएं साइड से स्टार्ट करेंगे लिम्फ नोड एक्टिवेशन करने के बाद. उसमें हम क्या करेंगे, बाएं साइड से पहले हम दाएं साइड में अपने हाथ से माइल्ड स्किन स्ट्रेचिंग, जस्ट लाइक टचिंग अ बेबी, एंड स्ट्रेचिंग, स्किन को स्ट्रेच करते जैसे कि हम बच्चे को मसाज करते हैं, नॉट मोर देन दैट, बिकॉज हमारे लिम्फेटिक्स जो होते हैं वो सुपरफिशियल होते हैं. तो इस तरह से हम लोग उसको करेंगे 50 to 100 टाइम्स, एंड देन ड्रेन इट इनटू द एक्सिला. उसको हम एक्सिला में ड्रेन करेंगे इस तरह से. देन नीचे वाले कंपार्टमेंट में करेंगे, एंड देन वी कैन ड्रेन इन द एब्डोमेन और इन द इंग्वाइनल एरियाज. तो अब हमारा राइट साइड इज हेल्दी, वी क्रिएटेड द स्पेस. अब हमने इधर जगह बना लिया है ताकि इधर के फ्लूइड को हम इधर भेज सके और रीअब्जॉर्प्शन में इजी हो. तो अब हमने राइट साइड कर लिया. अब हमारा लेफ्ट साइड में लिम्फेडिमा है, तो अब हम लोग राइट हैंड से अब हम लोग इस तरह से शुरू करेंगे. अगर हमारा पूरा ब्रेस्ट रिमूव हुआ है तो हमारा एक सुचर लाइन होता है, तो हम उसके ऊपर और उसके नीचे करते हैं. बट अगर हमारा ब्रेस्ट है तो कई बार हमने देखा है कि ब्रेस्ट में भी सूजन होती है, ब्रेस्ट में भी एडिमा होता है, दर्द होता है, भारी होता है. तो ब्रेस्ट को हम 4 इमेजिनरी लाइन में इस तरह से डिवाइड करते हैं, और 4 भाग में डिवाइड कर दिया, 1 2 3 4. अब हम लोग उसमें शुरू करते हैं नीचे से. उसको हम लोग 50 to 100 टाइम्स सिंपल लाइट जेंटल स्ट्रेच करेंगे, एंड देन उसको हम ड्रेन करेंगे इंग्वाइनल नोड्स की तरफ, नीचे की तरफ. उसी तरह से सेकंड कंपार्टमेंट में, और फिर हम उसको नीचे की तरफ ड्रेन करेंगे. फिर थर्ड कंपार्टमेंट में 50 to 100 टाइम्स, और फिर हम उसको बीच में लाते हुए फिर नीचे की तरफ करेंगे, और फिर फोर्थ कंपार्टमेंट में करके और फिर हम उसको नीचे लाएंगे। लेकिन ये है अगर हमारे एक साइड की ब्रेस्ट की सर्जरी हुई है। अगर मान ले हमारे दोनों साइड की ब्रेस्ट की सर्जरी हुई है, तो हम जितनी चीजों को ड्रेन आउट करेंगे वो हमेशा हम सेंट्रली करेंगे, कभी भी हम दूसरे साइड पुश नहीं करेंगे। क्योंकि अगर मान ले हमारे उधर की भी सर्जरी हुई है, उधर के भी लिम्फ नोड्स निकले हैं, तो हम वापस से फ्लूइड उधर भेज रहे हैं और उधर फिर हमारा रिस्क बढ़ जाएगा सूजन होने का। उसके बाद फिर हम एक्सिला में करेंगे इस तरह से 20 to 100 टाइम्स, एंड देन उसको नीचे की तरफ ड्रेन करेंगे। इसमें एक चीज और इम्पोर्टेंट है कि जो स्किन से स्किन का कांटेक्ट है वो लूज नहीं होना चाहिए, और उसको करते हुए फिर बिल्कुल स्किन से स्किन टच करके नीचे लाएंगे। एंड देन इस आर्म को हम 3 भाग में डिवाइड करते हैं, 1, 2 and 3। एंड देन हम लोग पहले एक कंपार्टमेंट लेंगे, ऊपर में करेंगे 50 to 100 टाइम्स, देन पीछे इस तरह से 50 to 100 टाइम्स, देन नीचे, एंड देन उसको वापस हम नीचे लाएंगे, सब कुछ इंग्वाइनल में या पेट की तरफ इस तरह से। उसके बाद फिर सेकंड कंपार्टमेंट लेंगे और हाथ हमारा इस तरह से कप्ड रहेगा, उंगलियों को फैलाकर या इस तरह से नहीं करेंगे, इसको इस तरह से कप रखेंगे और फिर हम करेंगे 20 to 100 टाइम्स इधर, पीछे और साइड में, और फिर हम उसको ड्रेन करेंगे। फिर सेम वे थर्ड कंपार्टमेंट, उसी तरह से फोर आर्म को भी 3 भाग में बांटेंगे, 1, 2 and 3। उसमें भी पहले आगे की तरफ, फिर पीछे, फिर साइड में, और फिर इस पूरे को ऐसे करते हुए ड्रेन आउट करेंगे। फिर उसी तरह से यहाँ, यहाँ और यहाँ। अब ये पाम हो गया, इस पूरे को अब हमने ऐसे ड्रेन किया। फिर इंडिविजुअल फिंगर को हम यहाँ नीचे से शुरू करते हैं और इसको इस तरह से करते हुए ड्रेन आउट करेंगे, फिर ऊपर के पार्ट को करेंगे और फिर हम इसको ड्रेन आउट करेंगे। उसी तरह से सारे फिंगर को करेंगे और फिर हम यहाँ रिस्ट में ड्रेन आउट करके फिर हाथ को ऊपर करके एटलीस्ट 20 to 50 टाइम्स सारे को हम नीचे की तरफ लाएंगे। और फिर ये करने के बाद पूरे बॉडी में आगे की तरफ और फिर पीछे की तरफ ड्रेन कर देंगे। और उसके बाद फिर जो हमारी बैंडेजिंग है, जैसे डॉक्टर बत्रा ने ऑलरेडी हम एक्सप्लेन किया कि स्टॉकिनेट पहनेंगे, फिर फिंगर बैंडेज एंड देन फोम शीट, एंड उसके बाद फिर शॉर्ट स्ट्रेच बैंडेज, फिर वी कैन अप्लाई दैट बैंडेज।
Okay, thanks. That was a very nicely done and elaborate explanation on the lymph drainage exercises. Other things to talk about in the treatment of lymphedema, एक laser therapy के बारे में it's being discussed, but it may be effective. It's not widely used very much.
But
And
sir, laser therapy and soft tissue mobilization, actually both का अभी तक सर कोई we don't have any evidence.
जी, exactly.
These all are on trial basis.
Yes. And Dr. Vaishali, coming back to you, so जैसे ये non-surgical methods हम use कर रहे थे, conservative, if they are not helping the patient, are there any surgical options which can be used to help patients suffering with high-grade lymphedema?
Right. Yeah, there are surgical options, and these are technically, demanding surgeries. Basically, these are बहुत ही स्किलफुल सर्जरीज होती है ये, जिसमें जो कटे हुए लिम्फेटिक्स होते हैं उनको वेन्स में जोड़ा जाता है। सो इट्स दिस काइंड, ये सर्जरी माइक्रोस्कोप में देख के की जाती है एंड यूजुअली डन बाय प्लास्टिक सर्जरी एक्सपर्ट्स। फिर दूसरा होता है कि दूसरी कई जगह से, जैसे इंग्वाइनल यानी जांघों से लेके या दूसरे अपोजिट आर्मपिट से लेके लिम्फ नोड ट्रांसफर किया जाता है ऑन द अफेक्टेड साइड। तो अगेन द टाइनी लिम्फेटिक्स आर जॉइंट विद द लिम्फेटिक्स ऑफ दैट, ये तो अगेन ये दिस इज आल्सो अ माइक्रो सर्जरी, माइक्रोस्कोप में देख के की जाती है। एंड अगर बहुत ज्यादा ग्रेड 3 लिम्फेडिमा है तो लाइपोसक्शन भी किया जाता है, विच विल हेल्प इन रिड्यूसिंग द पूरा आर्म का गर्थ कम करने में हेल्प हो जाती है। एंड इफ दैट इज डन, देन द पेशेंट्स आर एबल टू पुट दोस कंप्रेसिव गारमेंट्स इन एन इफेक्टिव वे। So these type of surgeries have been described and have been found to be useful for patients with lymphedema.
Okay, thank you everyone. And खत्म करने से पहले डॉक्टर संदीप, if I can request, जैसे डॉक्टर स्मृति ने lymph drainage का बताया है, if there can be some exercises that you can show the audience that they can do and follow? It will be very helpful.
बेसिकली ग्रेविटी को असिस्ट करने वाली एक्सरसाइजेस अगर हम करेंगे, मतलब अगर फॉर एग्जांपल अगर किसी पेशेंट को अपर लिम्ब लिम्फेडिमा है तो हम उसको यूजुअली प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं कि वो हाथ को ऊपर करके एक्सरसाइज करे। जैसे अगर एक सॉफ्ट स्माइली बॉल रहती है उसको ऊपर करके स्क्वीज करने की कोशिश करे। कई बार पेशेंट की स्वेलिंग इतनी होती है कि वो हाथ को ज्यादा देर तक ऊपर कर नहीं पाता, तो देन वी इंस्ट्रक्ट द पेशेंट टू कीप सम पिलोज बिलो द एल्बो इन ऑर्डर टू सपोर्ट इट। सो एलिवेट करके रिस्ट का मूवमेंट, फिंगर का मूवमेंट, फोरआर्म का मूवमेंट, एल्बो का मूवमेंट, ये सारी बेसिकली एक्सरसाइज जो ग्रेविटी असिस्ट करती है जिसमें ड्रेनेज को, वो हम प्राइमरीली प्रिस्क्राइब कर रहे होते हैं पेशेंट्स को।
Okay, thank you. And I'll just end by an interesting fact that actually जैसे breast cancer month awareness month celebrate होता है, similarly lymphedema is such a common problem that the month of March is dedicated to lymphedema awareness, and that's not usually discussed, but that is an important thing, and it gets highlighted in the fact we are actually having 78 participants, and as was being discussed in the beginning of the session that on a Lodi evening we're having so many participants. That's really heartening, and it shows how important and yet an untouched thing this is to the patients. Thank
Sir,
you, Megha.
I want to add one thing for our caregivers and for the patients. कि जैसे ही जो हमारे लिम्फेडिमा के साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स होते हैं, चाहे सर्जरी के इमीडिएट बाद 5-6 दिन बाद दिखता है, अगर वो इमीडिएटली अपने ऑन्को फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट को सीक करते हैं, मिलते हैं, तो बाय डूइंग 5 सेशंस, 5 डेज 10 डेज एक्सरसाइजेज, जब हम वो मैनुअल लिम्फेटिक्स को रीरूटिंग करना सिखा देते हैं पेशेंट्स को, तो हम उसको स्टेज 0 और स्टेज 1 पे ही रोक पाते हैं। अगर जैसे ही वो हेवीनेस, पेन, हल्की सी माइल्ड स्वेलिंग अगर बोलता है पेशेंट की अभी आ रहा है और जा रहा है, अगर उसी समय अगर हम उनको सिखा देंगे, so we can reduce that risk to increase lymphedema to stage 2 or stage 3. So that is because a patient कब हमेशा बोलता है heaviness है, वो हमेशा उसको avoid करता है कि अब कहाँ जाए, but I think sir this is very important कि अगर वो immediate दिखाए डॉक्टर को और ट्रीटमेंट शुरू करें, then by doing we can decrease the rate of stage 2 and stage 3.
Okay, Dr. Shruti, एक question that we have got is please mention about pain management in lymphedema. Lymphedema में जो दर्द होता है उसके लिए कुछ दवाइयाँ या कुछ और किया जा सकता है जिससे दर्द कम हो apart from the exercises and lymph drainage?
सर लिम्फेडिमा में अगर बहुत सीवियर लिम्फेडिमा होता है, as I know कि स्टेज 3 में अगर होता है, तभी पेशेंट ऐसा पेन कंप्लेंट करते हैं, और अगर या फिर मेटास्टेटिक अगर स्टेज होता है सर, लेकिन अगर हम लिम्फेडिमा में बोले कि पेन बहुत ज्यादा है, तो दिस इज वेरी अनयूजुअल। अगर पेशेंट पेन के साथ आता है तो हम लोग हमेशा पेशेंट को बोलते हैं कि डॉक्टर से मिलकर एक वेनस डॉप्लर करवाओ, बिकॉज समटाइम्स ड्यू टू डीवीटी पेशेंट को वो पेन और अनयूजुअल स्वेलिंग आता है, बट अगर स्वेलिंग की वजह से पेन बहुत ज्यादा सर, बहुत लाइकली कम है ये चांसेस सर।
Very important. Yes, please.
See, as a patient, मैंने ये फील किया है कि अगर एकदम से सडनली कुछ ज्यादा आपके हाथ में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है, या आपने थोड़ा कुछ एक्स्ट्रा स्ट्रेनुअस कुछ काम कर लिया, तो अब मेरा तो ट्रीटमेंट के बाद 5 साल की जर्नी होने को आ रही है, तो ओवर द इयर्स मेरे को थोड़ा आइडिया लग गया है कि बस इतना करना है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं करना है। बट इनिशियली उसकी वजह से पेन हो जाता था, एंड काफी पेन होता था, एंड इट वाज रेडिएटिंग टिल द चेस्ट आल्सो। ऐसा नहीं है डॉक्टर स्मृति, आपसे मेरी मिलनी भी हूं मैं, आपको याद होगा मेरे को जब,
अच्छा हाँ मिले हैं, हाँ,
तो उस समय अच्छा खासा पेन था।
नहीं तो सीमा जी वो पेन, हाँ वो पेन क्या होता है कि दैट इज नॉट ड्यू टू एडिमा एक्युमुलेशन, दैट इज ड्यू टू स्ट्रेनस वर्क, हमारे नर्व्स पे और मसल्स पे स्ट्रेन आता है, तो वो न्यूरेटिक पेन है, दैट इज नॉट ड्यू टू एडिमा पेन। अगर एडिमा पेन रहेगा, अगर हमारे हाथ में लिम्फेडिमा है, उसकी वजह से लगातार पेन रहेगा। अगर हमने कुछ स्ट्रेनस वर्क किया है, कुछ किया है, तो दैट इज नर्व पेन और मस्कुलर पेन, दैट इज नॉट
जो है नर्व्स को कंप्रेस कर दे रहा है, इस
तो
वजह
उसकी वजह से वो स्ट्रेनस वर्क की वजह से हो सकता है।
Yes, Dr. Gaurav, if you can pitch in, Dr. Gaurav and Dr. Megha here. I would say that we see a lot of patients post-surgery in pain, especially radiating pain and sometimes shoulder pain also. So the surgical insult can sometimes incite pain, and there can be pain, and we have seen even patients developing CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome after surgery. So it would be different for different people. There are no जनरल characteristics which I can मैं आपको बताऊं कि इन पेशेंट्स में दर्द ज्यादा होगा, but yes there are sometimes extreme of cases. The important thing is that we can pay attention, हम उसका ध्यान रखें कि वो पेन बढ़ तो नहीं रहा है, हम अपनी जो मूवमेंट है हाथ की कहीं वो हम रिस्ट्रिक्ट तो नहीं कर रहे हैं, अपनी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ को अगर हम खराब कर रहे हैं पेन की वजह से या स्वेलिंग की वजह से, we should seek opinion, हमें स्पेशलिस्ट के पास दिखाना चाहिए. एंड डॉक्टर शुभम, देयर आर फ्यू क्वेश्चंस इन द चैट बॉक्स.
ये एक बड़ा कॉमन क्वेश्चन है डॉक्टर शुभम. अच्छा आप पूछ लीजिए.
हाँ यस मैम आप बताइए.
एक बड़ा कॉमन क्वेश्चन है जब हम जाते हैं मतलब डे केयर में कि क्या सर्जरी के 3-4 महीने बाद भी लिम्फोडीमा आ सकता है?
बिल्कुल.
I mean,
Dr.
can we get
Vaishali,
lymphedema even after 5-6?
Dr. Vaishali, Dr. Rashi, would you like to answer that?
So लिम्फेडिमा कभी भी आ सकता है, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि 1 साल में ही आएगा या 2 साल में ही आएगा. It can start from within months after the surgery to even 5 years, 10 years कभी भी आ सकता है. So it is totally unpredictable. But most commonly जो आता है वो initially 2-3 साल के अंदर ही अंदर mostly आता है अगर आना हो तो. But मैंने देखा है कि पेशेंट की 4-5 साल पहले ट्रीटमेंट कंप्लीट हुआ है और अभी लिम्फेडिमा डेवलप हुआ है. सो ऐसा हो सकता है, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि कोई एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम फ्रेम हो.
ओके
थैंक यू डॉक्टर.
अनदर. हाँ जी डॉक्टर राशि बताइए.
एक्चुअली मैंने एक पेशेंट देखी थी, वो 10 साल के बाद उसको लिम्फेडिमा हुआ था और वो उसने बताया ही नहीं कि मुझे मतलब कैंसर ब्रेस्ट हुआ है. वो तो उसके जो और होते हैं ना अड़ोसी पड़ोसी, उन्होंने बताया कि इसको हुआ था, नहीं तो अदरवाइज आई वाज नॉट एबल टू फाइंड आउट कि हुआ क्या है. वो खुद ही बोल गई थी. तो हमें जो एक्सरसाइज है जो उन्होंने बताया दोनों डॉक्टर्स ने, हमें एक्सरसाइज जो है वो हमेशा करनी है.
Absolutely, that is the most important thing that we have in combating lymphedema. एक और क्वेश्चन जो आया है, is it compulsory to wear the stocking while doing arm exercises in case of swelling in the arm? Dr. Sandeep, आप.
Usually we do ask patient to wear the stockings or those because while doing exercises they will apply additional pressure, so it will further promote the lymphatic movement.
So basically stockings wear करने से और अच्छा result आएगा exercises का. Can we use crepe bandages for the manual lymphatic multi-layer bandaging that we do? Can we use crepe bandages there?
No,
Doctor?
sir.
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
sir.
So that answers this question. The crepe bandages normally do not replace the multi-layer lymphedema bandages. Yes. Can a little swelling in the wrist persist over 6 months be alarming? So any swelling that is persisting and for more than 3 months in duration should be मतलब उसको ध्यान देना चाहिए उसके ऊपर. It should not be ignored, especially if somebody is post therapy, because there is a high risk of anybody developing lymphedema after the treatment for breast cancers. Next question is कि if the hand movement is throughout the day like working on a computer, is it necessary to drain the arm? So a lot of our patients, बहुत सारे patients आजकल working है, so उनके लिए at work उनको कुछ काम पे अपना particular चीजों का ध्यान रखना चाहिए. डॉक्टर स्मृति या डॉक्टर संदीप, if you can elaborate on that.
सर उसमें मैं ये कहूंगी कि वर्किंग है तो उसमें अगर उनको एडिमा नहीं है तो देयर इज नो नीड ऑफ डूइंग ड्रेनेज, तो उनको ड्रेनेज करने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. ओनली बाय डूइंग 5-10 मिनट एक्सरसाइजेज ट्वाइस और थ्राइस इन अ डे इज मोर देन सफिशिएंट, अगर उनको स्वेलिंग नहीं है तो. लेकिन अगर स्वेलिंग है देन वी ऑलवेज एडवाइज, तब हम लोग एडवाइस करते हैं कि फिर मैनुअल लिम्फेटिक ड्रेनेज करो एंड देन बैंडेज अप्लाई करो. बट अब अगर स्वेलिंग नहीं है देन ओनली एक्सरसाइजेज विल हेल्प सर.
Okay. Dr. Rashi.
Dr. Shubham, if I may.
Yes, please.
लेकिन जो पेशेंट्स कंटिन्यूअसली अपने कंप्यूटर या ऐसे कोई इस पे काम करते हैं, उनको ये एडवाइस किया जाता है कि दे शुड टेक स्मॉल ब्रेक्स इन बिटवीन. से फॉर एग्जांपल हर घंटे का काम के बाद एक 5-7 मिनट का वो ब्रेक ले ले, एंड मे बी दे कुड डू लिटिल मसाज ऑफ दैट अफेक्टेड आर्म, दैट माइट डेफिनेटली हेल्प. सो टेकिंग स्मॉल, ऐसे कंटिन्यूअस लगातार बहुत लंबे समय तक हाथ से काम नहीं करना चाहिए. They should have some little breaks and gentle massage, which Dr. Smriti has already discussed and described. वो अगर intermittently करे, that will definitely help.
Okay, so Dr. Ashi, एक और क्वेश्चन जो आया है that someone's got an ultrasound done and उसमें कोई fluid accumulation नहीं बता रहे हैं अल्ट्रासाउंड पे, but हाथ में visibly swelling है. So क्या वो lymphedema हो सकता है, and would regular exercise and massage help in that case?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, डॉक्टर स्मृति शायद बोल ही रही है. यस सर.
हाँ.
और अल्ट्रासाउंड में फ्लूइड नहीं आया, लेकिन पहले सर्जरी की हिस्ट्री कुछ तो हो गई.
जी 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 जी, पोस्ट ट्रीटेड केस है ये.
That should be done. That should be done.
जी, okay. Another question that is there is, or ये relevant question, please give a takeaway. So एक question है, what is the ideal BMI that we should maintain to avoid lymphedema? So is there any ideal BMI की definition, Dr. Smriti or Dr. Sandeep?
Ideal BMI. Sir, we have to see that chart कि उनके age and height और weight and height के according क्या उनका BMI होना चाहिए. They have to follow that. Nothing like that कि ideal कुछ ऐसा है. That depends upon height and weight of that patient.
Okay.
Before treatment क्या उनका weight और height था, उस पे depend करता है.
Okay.
Because
okay.
Sir, because in sometime during the cancer treatment chemo वगैरह की वजह से weight gain हो जाता है. Then before treatment क्या उनका weight and weight था with height, हम लोग उसको देख सकते हैं सर.
Okay.
So any BMI in between 18 to 25 is considered normal. So that is what normal means.
Yes, exactly.
गुड इवनिंग.
Yes.
मेरा सर 18 दिसंबर को ऑपरेशन हुआ था और मेरा वजन सर 15 kg बढ़ गया, सीए थायराइड का.
जी.
मेरा सर सीए थायराइड का ऑपरेशन हुआ था सर 18 दिसंबर 2019 को सर. नहीं सॉरी 2020 को सर. और मेरा वजन सर लगभग अभी 15 से 18 kg बढ़ गया है सर. और अभी तक मेरा सर दोबारा रेडिएशन नहीं हुआ, न्यूक्लियर मेडिसिन से रेडिएशन हो रहा है सर मेरा. तो अभी सर मेरा ड्यू मैक्स हॉस्पिटल में सर है 20 को सर. मैं इंट्रोक्सिन लेता हूँ सर 150.
सर तो ये थायराइड के केस में मोस्ट लाइकली ये लिम्फेडिमा की वजह से वजन नहीं बढ़ा है, ये थायराइड की एक्टिविटी कम होने की वजह से हो सकता है. आप एक बारी डेफिनेटली जो भी आपके ट्रीटिंग डॉक्टर रहेंगे उनको एक बारी कंसल्ट कीजिए. सो आई एम श्योर वो उसमें आपकी हेल्प कर पाएंगे.
Probably Eltroxin का डोज वगैरह बढ़ेगा.
जी
Because मेरा डुअल कैंसर था, मुझे थायराइड कैंसर और ब्रेस्ट कैंसर दोनों था. So I was also dealing with these things.
जी. अच्छा, एक और इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन जो है कि शुड स्टॉकिंग्स बी worn at night? क्या रात को भी स्टॉकिंग्स पहनने चाहिए फॉर समबडी हु इज हैविंग लिम्फेडिमा?
सर अगर स्वेलिंग ज्यादा है देन बैंडेजिंग इज रिकमेंडेबल. अगर कम है तो she can wear stockings or she cannot wear stockings at night.
Okay.
But she can wear stockings. But
जी.
But sir bandage अगर swelling है then मैं हमेशा यही बोल रही हूँ कि bandaging will help to reduce lymphedema, but stockings will not help to reduce lymphedema.
Okay, that's an important message. और any oil or cream massage of hand जो कि आप बोले कि can be recommended?
हाँ, she can apply Nivea cream, जो thick Nivea cream होता है. He or she can apply in the winter time. In summer time, they can use talcum powder.
Okay.
To do the manual drainage.
And somebody who's having lymphedema, can they do? क्या वो अपना घर का normal काम कर सकते हैं with the bandages and?
Yes sir. वेट काम नहीं कर सकते. ड्राई वर्क शी कैन डू एवरीथिंग. वेट काम सिर्फ नहीं करेंगे जिसमें पानी गीला करना है. अदरवाइज बैंडेज के साथ फिंगर मूवमेंट, रिस्ट, एल्बो, शोल्डर सारी मूवमेंट्स होती है. शी कैन गो हेड विद ऑल हर वर्क.
कौन से नहीं करने काम, कैन यू एलैबोरेट? वॉशिंग क्लोथ, वॉशिंग.
हाँ, जो सर वेट काम होंगे बैंडेज के साथ, जो पानी वाले काम है वॉशिंग वगैरह काम वो नहीं करेंगे. उसके अलावा ड्राई काम सब कुछ कर सकते हैं.
Okay.
And they have to be away from
Hello?
heat or any changes in temperature.
सर एक्सट्रीम हीट एंड एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड कहते हैं, किचन में काम करना इज नॉट वरी. एक्सट्रीम हीट एंड एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड, किचन में काम करना कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है सर.
Okay. One last question that I find on the chat group is to Dr. Vaishali ki is lymphovenous shunting a preventive surgery that can be done routinely, और क्या हम main surgery के साथ ही lymphovenous shunting कर सकते हैं या करनी चाहिए?
डेफिनेटली एक्चुअली वी एंटीसिपेट कि कौन से पेशेंट्स में, जैसे हमने पहले भी कहा कि जिन पेशेंट्स में लिम्फ नोड बर्डन बहुत ज्यादा है या हमें लगता है कि these patients are likely to develop lymphedema in future, yes, we have started doing lymphovenous anastomosis at the time of primary surgery. उसको बहुत ज्यादा एक्स्ट्रा समय नहीं लगता. The primary surgery for breast cancer, in addition, we can we have maybe another half an hour or 40-45 minutes are added by doing this lymphovenous shunting. But definitely we need to have a good plastic surgery team which is actually trained in carrying out these surgeries. If that is available, yes, then it can be done as a preventive measure at the time of surgery for breast cancer.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was a lovely session.
Can I ask just one last question, please, Dr.
Yes.
Shubham? Can I just ask?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Okay. So I want to know if somebody who has had lymphedema, has had lymph node removal, but does not have lymphedema, is it essential for them to wear a compression stocking or a compression sleeve while on a flight?
Dr. Smriti or Dr. Sandeep, would you want to answer that?
Yes, Radhika. Because when pressure, because our cabin pressure is less than the environment pressure, so we always recommend to wear compression garment, or he or she can wear that short stretch bandage also while doing air travel.
Especially if it is a long haul flight.
Yes.
ऐसा है कि I would like to add here कि मैं जैसे सपोर्ट ग्रुप में वर्क करती हूँ काफी, तो मुझे ये पता लगा है कि कई लोगों को लिम्फेडिमा की प्रॉब्लम बिल्कुल भी नहीं थी, एंड दे स्टार्टेड टेकिंग देयर लाइफ इजीली, एंड फिर वो एक फ्लाइट ली जस्ट लाइक दिल्ली टू बॉम्बे एंड विदाउट कंप्रेशन बैंडेज ली, और उसके बाद लिम्फेडिमा की प्रॉब्लम आ गई.
बिल्कुल. That's why I asked.
Precaution is better than cure. आप पहले से ही ध्यान दो, पहनना है बस.
I think
ये short stretch bandage.
हम एक्चुअली एज अ ऑन्कोलॉजिस्ट जब भी पेशेंट की सर्जरी होती है उसी समय पेशेंट को अगर आप बहुत अच्छे से समझाते हैं, एंड व्हेन वी काउंसल देम, वी हैमर इनटू देम दैट दीज प्रिकॉशंस आर टू बी टेकन फॉर लाइफ लॉन्ग. इट इज नॉट कि 4 साल हो गए, 5 साल हो गए एंड देन यू हैव टू बी स्लैक taking these precautions. It is not so, because taking precautions is utmost important to prevent this problem, because although this may not be life threatening, but it is most debilitating if you allow the lymphedema to progress, और उससे quality of life definitely affect होती है. So you have to take due precautions, and that is the most important thing for everybody and anybody to understand.
ये मैंने मैडम बहुत नोटिस किया है कि ट्रीटमेंट आजकल आप लोग इतना अच्छा कर देते हैं. यू आर डूइंग सच ग्रेट सर्जरी एंड देन ग्रेट रेडिएशन एंड कीमोथेरेपी भी. ड्रग्स आर सो मॉडर्न. द सर्वाइवल रेट्स आर इंक्रीजिंग. I am a stage 4 survivor, and उसके बाद I started doing my whole work also as a dental surgeon. Dentistry काफी strenuous work होता है और सब भी मैं कर रही हूँ. तो अगर आपने जिंदा रहना है, that is not the only aspect. You want to live well. That is the quality of life. So for that, all survivors have to understand that it has to be a part of their lifestyle कि आपने कुछ life का everyday का अपना टाइम अपने हाथ के केयर के लिए देना ही देना है. ये एक्सरसाइज करनी सैक्रोसेंट है, रोज करनी ही करनी है. और वो जो डॉक्टर संदीप ने बोला कि हैंड एलिवेट करके, हल्का सा आपने हाथ एलिवेट किया और ये बॉल आपने कर ली, इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं है कि ये ऑफिस में आप नहीं कर सकते. बीच में हल्का सा ब्रेक लिया, 5 मिनट के लिए कर ली. दिस स्मॉल थिंग्स गो अ लॉन्ग वे. एटलीस्ट मुझे तो यही लगता है कि these small changes have made a lot of difference. and मैं तो मेरी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ बहुत अच्छी रख पा रही हूँ. डेंटिस्ट्री भी कर रही हूँ, घर में कुकिंग भी कर रही हूँ, ड्राइविंग भी कर रही हूँ. एवरीथिंग आई एम एबल टू डू विद मॉडरेशन. एंड वही बात की बहुत लॉन्ग नहीं करना है, अपने आप को बहुत एक्सर्शन नहीं करना है, बट स्टिल करो, एवरीथिंग करो.
थैंक यू मैम.
बिल्कुल ठीक कहा.
बहुत good.
यू नो
Very
पीपल कैन
good.
अंडरगो कीमो, लेकिन वो लिम्फोडिमा से डर जाते हैं. यू नो कई लोग क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि कीमो तो हम सह लेंगे लेकिन लिम्फोडिमा बहुत मुश्किल रहेगा. So what you said is so true, Seema. Absolutely true.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
everybody.
So
Dr.
handing over
Shubham.
the mic back to Dr. Megha and Dr. Gaurav for.
Thank you, Dr. Shubham. Thank you, Radhika, Madhu, Smriti, Sandeep, Dr. Vaishali, Dr. Rashi. आप लोगों ने अपना टाइम दिया, एंड आई थिंक सारे पेशेंट्स और केयर गिवर्स में दे हैव टेकन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट lessons from this session, and I hope it will help them to manage their lymphedema better. और कई बार तो जो जैसे मैम ने बोला, we have to be, whether it is cancer related or otherwise also, we have to devote certain time for our general care and our body. It is very important. And happy Lodi to everyone, and we thank you all for joining us and spending your time for this important session. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.